Okay, girls, so quick synopsis when solving for an angle, right? So all operations have inverse operations, right? So instead of multiplying, we would divide, right? Or adding, the opposite or the inverse is subtract. Or if we have something squared, the inverse would be the square root, right? Your trig functions work the same way. So if we want to take the inverse, or if we want to go backwards and find the angle, we're going to do the inverse of the ratio. What it's going to look like is if n is my angle, 12 is opposite, 5 is adjacent, right? Because this side is your hypotenuse. So the trig function should be tan, or tangent. So tangent of angle n is your opposite over your adjacent. We want the angle this time, so we need to undo the tangent function. Remember, this is not multiplication, right? It's a function of that angle. So we can't divide by tangent because it's locked to our angle. We have to do the inverse function. So we're going to take the inverse tangent. It's going to look like tangent with a -1. That's inverse notation of your fraction. So in your calculator, you're going to plug in second tangent, and you're going to see tangent with that little -1 as an exponent, and then you're going to do 12 divided by 5. That is your angle. We normally round angles to the nearest whole number, so 0.3, right, would leave this at 67 as a whole number. So our n would be 67, and it's an angle, so we're going to put a degree sign. You can pause this video and then play it again to go through the 19, 20, and 21 below. All right, if you want to check your work, right, 19 should be the cosine of x equals 10 over 11. If you plug that in, right, we want the inverse cosine of 10 over 11, which is 25 if we round to the nearest angle. For f, this is our opposite and our hypotenuse. So we want the sine of angle f, which is 15 over 22. So the inverse sine, right, of that fraction. Second sine of your fraction, so 15 over 22, gives us 43 degrees. Or up here. And then 21, 5 is your opposite, 4 is your adjacent. So we're using tangent, opposite over adjacent. And again, to get the angle, we're doing the inverse function of our angle. So second tangent of 5 over 4 for 51 degrees. You will only use the inverse of your trig functions if you are solving for an angle. We got through everything else in class. Come to early help if you have questions.